You can start now, sir.
Okay. Uh, Respected Professor Ravi Narayan, chief guest of today's function, Professor Mohan Raj sir, Professor uh, Dr. Bose, head of the institute, my colleagues, and all the students and department heads and guests, whoever has joined this online HM Patel sir's Founders Day celebration. Good morning to all. The great son of Dharmaj, Sri Bigubai Murjibai Patel, widely known as Sri H.M. Patel Sahib, was born at Mumbai on 27th August 1904. He had very high position in central government and retired from services in 1959. His post-retirement life was dedicated to the upliftment of rural people in and around Vallabhidhyanagar, which naturally became his karma bhumi. Sri H.M. Patel was one of the few persons in Gujarat who emphasized the importance of learning English in order to keep pace with the changing world. His emphasis on learning English has been proved correct with the emerging horizons of the computers, information technology, and biotechnology. He was a perfectionist par excellence and long-term planner. It has been a tradition of H.M. Patel Institute of English Training and Research to celebrate his founders. We celebrate his birthday as a Founders Day celebration every year. Today, also, as we all very much aware that it is his birthday, and we have gathered here online to celebrate his birthday. I request Dr. Monas Chakar for the invocation. Please, Dr. Monas.
Thank you, sir. ॐ वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा शुक्लां ब्रह्मविचारसार परमाम् आद्यां जगद्व्यापिनीं वीणापुस्तकधारिणीम् अभयदाम् जाड्यान्धकारापहाम् हस्ते स्फाटिकमालिकां विदधतीं पद्मासने संस्थिताम् वन्दे त्वां परमेश्वरीं भगवतीं बुद्धिप्रदां शारदाम् ॐ तत्सत् श्रीनारायण तु पुरुषोत्तमगुरुतु ॐ तत्सत् श्रीनारायण तु पुरुषोत्तमगुरुतु सिद्धबुद्धतु स्कन्दविनायक सविता पावकतु ब्रह्ममस्दतु यः शक्तितु ईशो पिता प्रभुतु रुद्रविष्णुतु रामकृष्णतु रहीमताओ वासुदेव गो विश्वरूप तू चिदानंद हरि तू अद्वितीय तू अकाल निर्भय आत्मलिंग शिव तू ओम तत्सत् श्री नारायण तू पुरुषोत्तम गुरु तू सिद्ध बुद्ध तू स्कंद विनायक सविता पावक तू. ओम शांति शांति शांति.
Thank you, Manas sir, for the wonderful slok and Sarvadharma prayer. As this is the online program, I request the head of the institute, Dr. N.V. Bose sir, for the welcome speech. Dr. Bose, please.
Thank you. Am I audible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Good morning to one and all. Respected Chairman, Engineer Vikubhai Patel, Dr. Amardavan Patel, the Doctor of HMPIETR, Honorable Secretary Dr. S.G. Patel sir, Joint Secretaries R.C. Talati sir, Dr. Ravi Narayan, the heads, principals, teaching and non-teaching staff, and dear students. We celebrate our Founders Day on 27th August every year, and this time, due to the pandemic, we are forced to organize this function online. Charutar Vidya Mandal's HMPIETR Institute of English Training and Research is the brainchild of Sri HMPIETR sir, the visionary who had a very clear mission, that is to promote the use of English in Gujarat. Let me offer my tributes to our founder and extend my warm welcome to all of you. Today, we have our chairman, Engineer Sri Vikubhai Patel, who happily agreed to preside over this function. I welcome our chairman, who always gives stress on the quality of education. Under his leadership, we have a new university in Vidyanagar now, the CBM University. Though our institute is now affiliated to Indian Institute of Teacher Education, Gandhinagar, we all work as a team for the development of the society. The main pillars of the team, along with our chairman, are Sri Manish Bhai Patel, the vice president, Professor S.P. Patel, Honorary Secretary, Professor R.C. Talati, Joint Secretary, Sri Mehubhai Patel, and Sri Vishal Bhai Patel. I welcome all of them. We have today Dr. Ravi Narayan Chakraborty as the chief guest of this program. Dr. Ravi Narayan is a professor at the Regional Institute of South India, Bangalore, where he trains in-service teachers in English language pedagogy. He has an MA in TESOL from the University of Lancaster, UK. He is the lead coordinator of the British Council India's Action Research Mentoring Scheme for the year 2019-20. He has conducted many teacher education courses, research projects, and materials development workshops across India. He has presented a paper at International Association of Teachers of English as a Foreign Language conference held in Manchester in 2015. He worked as a chairperson of English course books for the Department of Education, Government of Karnataka. His book on Learn English, Teach English, English Skills for Teachers was published by Oxford University Press of India. Ravi is passionate about reading, training teachers, and researching classrooms. I'm happy to say that Ravi was my classmate at English and Foreign Language University, Hyderabad in PGCT and PGDT. I welcome Professor Ravi Narayan.
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
welcome Mohan
Good
Raj.
morning.
I welcome Dr. Mohan Raj, my teacher, all the heads, principals, teachers, and students, and well-wishers who are watching this program online. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, both sir. Uh, as we all know that Bangalore is a beautiful city of Karnataka state, and almost all the states of South India are full of wealth and knowledge, and I think people as well in this regard. Today we have amongst us Professor Ravi Narayan from Regional Institute of English South India Bangalore as a chief guest for the today's function. I request him to say a few words about Dr. H.M. Patel Sahib and then deliver a lecture. Professor Ravi Narayan.
Thank you, Dr. Anil, and thank you, Dr. Bose. Thanks again for the wonderful introduction. I deem it an honor to pay tribute to H.M. Patel ji. It's indeed a great privilege to deliver this memorial speech on this special occasion. Let me show H.M. Patel ji's photo to the audience first. Yes. Can I share my screen? One second. Yeah. Is it visible? Is the photo visible?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Oh, so this is H.M. Patel ji, who worked as a senior Indian civil servant officer in the first years after independence. And as many of you will know, he was the finance minister and then he became the home minister in the central government. And after his retirement, I think he dedicated himself to the field of education. He worked as a chairman of the Charutar Vidya Mandal, which founded Vallabh Vidyapeeth, that was later named as Sardar Patel University Vallabh Vidyanagar. And he was instrumental in establishing HM Patel Institute of English Training and Research in 1965. It's a real honor to pay homage to HM Patel ji on this special occasion. So I really appreciate the initiatives and the efforts of the organization in conducting such celebrations every year. It's very, very important to recall the contributions of great visionaries and remember their achievements and recognize their efforts and move forward the tradition and culture. So thank you for inviting me and for having me on board today. And we at the Regional Institute of English have a long association with HM Patel Institute of English Training and Research. Both are training institutes. Regional Institute of English Bangalore and HM Patel Institute of English are teacher training and teacher education institutes. They are premier institutes in the country, and we had the faculty of HM Patel Institute of English, research scholars and students coming to RIE Bengaluru for training programs, for conferences, and many such professional development activities. So I'm happy that we are carrying forward this legacy and helping each other in a professional growth. And I must thank Professor Bose for inviting me to deliver HM Patel Memorial speech today. Right. What I'm going to do now is I'll present 3 scenarios. This is the first scenario. I'll give you just 30 seconds to see these 3 scenarios. I'm going to show you 3 pictures. So maybe 30 seconds to just have a look at the pictures. This is scenario 1. Okay, let me make it full screen. Yes. So what do you think is happening here? This is scenario 2. And this is scenario 3. Anybody who wants to respond to these pictures? What are these three scenarios? So what do you guess? What is your understanding of these three scenarios? Or so scenario one, yeah, this is a picture. So it's about the recent controversy that happened in UK. This is a grading controversy related to the grading of students. This is called grade inflation in UK. So the A-level and GCSE exams were cancelled because of the COVID-19 pandemic, and grades were assigned to students based on teacher predictions. But then, right, we don't trust teachers. So naturally, teachers' predictions were not taken into account completely. The grades they predicted based on students' continuous performance were moderated by standardized algorithm by the examination body. And what has happened is, because of this standardization, because of the application of this algorithm, students got one grade lower than teacher predictions. And 79% students did not achieve their predicted grades, it seems. They did not get their predicted grades. And this has affected their admission to, this will affect their admission to universities and colleges. And the interesting thing is that this has happened because of the see, what has happened is the downgrading the results of those who attended state schools. So those students who attended state schools, their results were downgraded, and the results of pupils at privately funded independent schools were upgraded, thus disadvantaging pupils of a lower socioeconomic background. I think this is very unfortunate. See, first of all, depending on standardized algorithm, depending on machine grades, and this is what we are moving towards now. Tests are being conducted based on artificial intelligence, based on computers. So can we trust machines completely? That's one scenario. How students are affected by these grades, exams. So I would call this an obsession with exams and results. We're all obsessed with exams and results. Recently, I saw a note on social media from a university professor. There was a note to her students. Soon we will meet again in the examination hall. All right. Soon we'll meet again in the examination hall, not in the classrooms. So once upon a time, we used to believe that the destiny of the nation is formulated in the classrooms. But now it is, I think, the destiny is decided in the examination halls. So irrespective of what students do during the pandemic, where they are, what are their feelings, what is the situation they are in, we have decided to meet them in the examination hall. Interestingly, another professor, so this also became viral on Twitter actually, another professor, he was conducting online classes, and whoever had problems with internet connection, he used to call them, talk to them personally. And when he was talking to one particular student, university student, he heard thunder and rain in the background, it seems. So heard thunder and rain in the background while speaking to that student over the phone. It transpired that the student who lived in rural Karnataka was sitting outdoors under an umbrella, braving heavy rain to get a signal. She was sitting outdoors under an umbrella, braving heavy rain to get internet signal. So we are not, worried about this. We are worried about conducting exams and declaring the results, grades. So the examination hall is a battleground. So I think we are still obsessed with exams in spite of the dramatic changes that are happening, in spite of this health crisis. All right. And the second scenario is about our obsession with syllabus coverage. This is again, you can see most of the students attending classes online. Teachers trying to teach online, all right, designing PPTs, using whiteboards, and trying to reach out to students online. So the education is happening in Google Classroom, not in the real classroom, not in the physical classroom. And there are 4 to 5 hours of online classes every day, which students have to attend. Small little kids have to attend 3 to 4 hours of online classes. And most of these students have 3 to 4 devices at home. They need to do assignments. They'll Google most of the time, get answers from Google. They need to download worksheets, upload assignments. And then online tests are being conducted. Marks are announced. So there is still rat race going on. Unfortunately, students are learning in isolation. There is no learning community as such. They're not interacting with other students. So for example, children are not worried about others. It's okay if 4 or 5 students get opportunities to answer all the time. Because in the regular classroom, there is some hesitation. How will the other students react? How will they respond? Will they talk to me tomorrow if I go on answering the questions? See, they need to face other students, right, in the class. Whereas online, a child can go on answering. A child can dominate because she is safe. So I'm a little concerned about this learning in isolation. So what are the values that they are acquiring, right? And the third scenario is this. I would call, see, there's a teacher standing in the middle, and there are students who have maintained social distance, wearing masks, trying to engage themselves in learning. I would call these teachers frontline warriors. Teachers who are struggling to reach out to students in remote villages. There are lots of challenges in reaching out to students. They're moving beyond the physical space of the classroom. So look at this. They're trying to engage students in common areas, in public places, sometimes in temples, sometimes in small theater complexes. This is another teacher who is trying to talk to students, engage them in making sure that learning continues to happen. And these are real warriors. So I think what has happened is the global health pandemic has provided a clear picture of existing inequalities. Now, what are the challenges of teaching and learning during the pandemic? I had an opportunity to interact with 60 to 70 teachers in my state in Karnataka, and I was talking to them about the challenges of teaching during this pandemic. And most of them say that 4 months of gap. This crisis began in March, right? So March, April, May, June, July, and August, 5-6 months of gap has changed their mindset. Teachers are saying it has changed students' mindsets. And I hope it has just changed students' mindsets, not teachers' mindsets. So the gap has really affected students. And then it's very difficult to take them back to studies. This is what teachers are saying. Difficult to take them back to studies. And teaching outside the classroom, school is very different from teaching inside the school. They also find it challenging to design activities, conduct group work, create English atmosphere. These are all their concerns. And then I asked them, okay, if these are the problems, difficulties, how did you overcome these challenges? It's interesting. Their responses are very interesting. And one particular teacher said, see, look at their struggles. One particular teacher said, I have divided the students into 3 groups. Some students have smartphones. I conduct online classes to them. Some students have basic phone sets. I call them, try to motivate them to self-study and assign activities through conversations. For other students, I go to their doors and facilitate learning by assigning some work with the help of worksheets. This is what she has planned. Identifying students who have smartphones, conducting online classes wherever possible, identifying students who have basic phone sets, helping them by calling them, by text messaging them. And those students who don't have any of these facilities, She tries to reach out, go to their doors, help them with worksheets. This is actually called Vidyagama in Karnataka. This is the new initiative of the government of Karnataka, Vidyagama, under which teachers are supposed to go to students' doorsteps, identify students, call them to a common place, and engage them in learning. This is a new academic venture. And when I spoke to another teacher, she said, so look at these, the way she has expressed herself. I'm mapping the students according to geographical areas, availability of phone or smartphone, textbook and workbook resource, talking to parents through Zoom meeting, creating WhatsApp group and posting the activities in the group. So what to see, what to say, what to write, read. So look at that, the interest, their commitment to do something. All right, so sharing video links, audio clippings, my voice messages, worksheet, practice. They want to do something. They want to reach out to students, but there are challenges. And the overall experience is, it's not so successful. Teachers are saying, not very successful, but we have gained rich experience. And some teachers say we have tried online lessons, but failed. They're ready to admit, we've tried online lessons, but we have failed. And they feel that regular classroom is the best place for teaching and learning. So I hope all of us realize this, the value of a physical classroom, where all the students come together, learn as a community. And then they were able to rope in head teachers, CRPs, block resource persons, parents and students. That is the best thing that has happened. Teachers have got feedback from headmasters, headmistresses, resource persons and parents and students. So what is this concept like teaching remotely? What are some of the advantages, some of the disadvantages? And many teachers seem to say that greater individual attention is possible through this scheme, Vidyagama scheme. When we go out, talk to students individually, it's possible to pay them greater attention. We are able to connect with their parents. It has not happened actually. So now we are able to connect with them, call parents, and then engage students. And we are sharing videos and audios. WhatsApp groups are created now. But still it's difficult to help with reading and writing skills. Students can listen to audios, watch videos, maybe they can record their voice, but it's difficult to help them with reading and writing skills. And some more challenges. For example, teachers are saying we are trained to teach face-to-face, but remote teaching is different and it's challenging. Teachers are not trained to teach remotely. This is all new. Making a video, preparing an audio, teaching online, where have they got experience? We have not trained them, right? They were not ready for this. And then they're saying we do not know students' feelings, their moods and reactions when we teach online, when we call them on their phones. Correction is difficult, feedback is difficult, and getting their attention, follow-up, not so easy. All right. And some students, it seems, it's very difficult to track them, know their status. They're going out with their parents to fields, and it's difficult to get their attention, get them back to studies. And follow-up is not that easy. And then I asked some of these teachers, after the schools reopen, will you continue with some of the remote teaching techniques you have adopted now? Okay, you have adopted some innovative techniques, you have made some videos, audio. Will you continue to use these strategies, these resources, once the schools reopen? And many have said, yeah, we'll continue self-learning techniques with children. So I find this very interesting, self-learning techniques. Hitherto, maybe we have not explored this. We'll continue self-learning techniques with children. We'll teach them how to learn on their own, learning to learn, all right? And then we'll give worksheets as home assignments. Maybe till now they were doing the worksheets in their classrooms during school hours. We can give it as a follow-up assignment. If they need extra care, then we'll take classes online. So depending on their needs, depending on their levels, we may conduct classes online as a follow-up. And then some teachers are saying every class can be recorded and shared with students for revision or for those who missed the class. This is also a great idea. Every class can be audio or video recorded and shared with students to reinforce their learning. So teachers will continue some of these techniques. They think they'll continue. And these are some of the lessons learned during the pandemic. One teacher said, I have realized that children cannot depend on the teacher for everything. I'm really, really happy that at least now we have realized all of this, that self-learning is important. Using worksheets for follow-up is valuable. Taking classes for reinforcement is again useful. I think these are all good lessons that we have learned. And then students cannot depend on teachers all the time. Students need to be empowered so that they learn a few things on their own. We need to prepare them for situations like this by equipping them with various learning methods. I think this is also a great lesson that we have learned. We have to equip them with different learning methods. As we all know, it's very common to see students learn by rote, right? So far maybe they have involved themselves in rote learning, in memorization. But this is not helping now. During the pandemic, if students are not able to read on their own, then what will you do with the textbook lessons, with the passages? If students haven't developed independent reading skills, if they cannot read silently, comprehend a passage, then what are the ways to engage them? Because we have not done this, we have not developed independent reading skills, self-study skills, now we are struggling. And now we realize we need to develop learner autonomy. We need to equip them with various learning strategies. And this pandemic has opened up many options to improve our teaching. And I'm glad this is coming from teachers, from primary high school teachers. This pandemic has opened up many options to improve our own teaching methods. And another teacher said, young teacher said, the pandemic cannot stop children from learning. This is what she has. No pandemic can stop children from learning. And another teacher said, the pandemic has taught me lessons for life. So look at that. It has taught me lessons for life. So I think the global health pandemic has provided a clear picture of what steps forward we need to take. What steps forward we need to take? What is our future course of action? I think this is the time to think about this. And if you look at National Education Policy 2020, it has proposed a new pedagogical and curricular structure, like first 3 years, from the age of 3 to 6, and then 2 years, and then 3 plus 3 plus 4. So 3 plus 2, that is 5, 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. This is a new structure proposed by the NEP 2020. I'm a little concerned about this because from age 3, children will get into the formal school structure. They get into the formal school structure. I'm just hoping against hope that they will not become a cog in the machine. See, they will become a part of this formal education system from age 3. And they should not become a cog in the machine. And Sir Ken Robinson, for example, he has said it's equally important to develop literacy and creativity. Foundational literacy is important. Foundational numeracy is important, but what is equally important is creativity. And as Picasso said, all children are born artists. The problem is to remain an artist as we grow up. Now, all these online classes, for example, I don't think they have made attempts to develop children's creativity. Now we are worried about board exams. We are concerned with content subjects, grades, results. What about other exams? Like, see, in Karnataka, we have successfully conducted SSLC exam. But every year, soon after SSLC exam, the same board will conduct exams for other fields. For example, this is called Department of Other Exams. They conduct exams in music, in dance, in other instrumentals, musical instruments. So nobody is talking about that now. So are these skills not important? Is creativity not important? Is it only JEE, NEET, and all these competitive exams? What about students' creative skills? What about other talents? And then teaching is a creative profession. Teachers are the lifeblood for the success of school. This is what Ken Robinson has said. Teachers are the lifeblood for the success of schools. So great teachers not just pass on information, they mentor, they stimulate, they provoke, and they engage. So these are the roles played by teachers. They're not there to transact the coursebook content. They're there to mold, shape, mentor the future generation. They're there to provoke students, stimulate their thinking, develop their creativity and higher order skills. So what does UNESCO say in this backdrop? Does UNESCO give us any ideas about way forward? And there is a document that I found, Education in a Post-COVID World. UNESCO has come out with 9 ideas for public action in the post-COVID period. And this is what the UNESCO document reports. The COVID-19 pandemic has revealed vulnerabilities. It has shown the great inequalities that exist in the world. It has also surfaced extraordinary human resourcefulness and potential. See how these teachers are struggling to go out, meet students, and teach them in streets, in public places. So it has also surfaced extraordinary human resourcefulness and potential. Decisions made today will have long-term consequences for the futures of education. And the document says, value the teaching profession and teacher collaboration. We need to value the teaching profession and value teacher collaboration. There has been remarkable innovation in the responses of educators to the COVID-19 crisis, with those systems most engaged with families and communities showing the most resilience. We must encourage conditions that give frontline educators autonomy and flexibility to act collaboratively. I think this is important. We must give them autonomy, flexibility to act collaboratively. And we should protect the social spaces provided by schools as we transform education. Again, UNESCO feels that it's important to protect the social spaces provided by schools as we transform education. The physical school, the physical classroom is very, very important. The school as a physical space is indispensable. Traditional classroom organization must give way to a variety of ways of doing school, but the school as a separate space-time of collective living, specific and different from other spaces of learning, must be preserved. We must think of alternatives. We must go for a variety of ways of doing school, but the school as a separate space-time of collective living, specific and different from other spaces of learning, this must be preserved. And the document goes on to say that we should make free and open source technologies available to teachers and students. Now, because it's many teachers, students cannot access these resources, there's a huge gap that we have created. So we should make free and open source technologies available to everybody. Open educational resources and open access digital tools must be supported. Still, see, the next part is interesting. Digital technology that enables communication, collaboration, and learning across distance is a formidable tool. Digital technology is essential, yet we should be increasingly concerned that a shift to remote online learning will exacerbate inequalities. Shift to remote online learning will increase the gap, will exacerbate inequalities. It's an illusion to think that online learning is a way forward for all. I think this is also very, very important for all of us to remember. So I think it's time we thought about alternatives in education, alternatives in assessment. It's time we thought about alternatives in syllabus. Let's think of alternatives in the system. What are the alternatives available? How best we can make use of these alternatives? Alternatives in assessment, alternatives in education, alternatives, how best we can provide alternatives to students. I think that should be the concern. Yes. So with that, I think I'm going to conclude for some time, and then maybe if there is time, we can have a small discussion, debate. Yes, let me stop sharing my screen. Yes, I'd like to stop here, and then if there are questions, I'm open for discussion.
Thank you, Professor Ravi Nara. In fact, whatever you said, I am very much agree with that. Now, during this pandemic situation, we have challenges, especially remote challenges, are real challenges for us. Of course, interior part, villages, gap is increasing, though we have technologies and all. So we need to think over this. So once again, thank you for enlightening us with new thoughts and ideas. I request Professor Mohan Raj sir to say a few words. Mohan Raj sir, please.
Thank you, Anil, for asking me. I would first of all like to congratulate Ravi Narayan for a very, very well organized, very systematic talk. I think he began the talk with a beautiful motivation by presenting three different scenarios. When he asked that particular question, I thought I wanted to answer it as it captures the history of development in the last 6 months. That's exactly what I was thinking, and that's beautifully presented. But I was much more impressed with the survey that he has conducted, and my heart goes to those two teachers whose responses he presented extremely succinctly. The first teacher who was able to go out of a way to categorize her students into three particular categories and meet them, understand their needs, and cater to their needs into three different manners. I thought such teachers are far few, and I wish their tribe really increases. Then he moved on to how this could lead to some of the recommendations that have been given in NEP. With your permission, Ravi, I just would like to comment one thing. The first 3 years, I don't know, I'm not sure, at least as per the document and the thinking that goes into the document, they will not become cogs in the wheel. They will certainly not become cogs in the wheel. The document is, I think, fairly explicit, which says that the children are allowed to attend school so that they get used to the atmosphere of the school. They get into the habit of attending the school and build a rapport with the teacher, and they see the teacher as the second member of the family, an additional member of the family. Along with that, without really having to read and write, they get a lot more familiarity with the language. Their vocabulary gets rich, which forms a foundation to study as soon as they become 5 or 6 years old. I think this is the philosophy that's projected as far as NEP is concerned. But I think your point of view is well taken. It's well taken. And I also wish, like you, I also wish they don't become cogs in the wheel. Certainly, they should not become cogs in the wheel. And I also liked the excerpts you took from UNESCO document, which is a very recent document. It's an extremely useful document. I was somehow thinking that you would bring in Prabhu, NS Prabhu, when you are talking about some of the recommendations that have been made here. One of the things that the teacher said, children can teachers or no, sorry, you said something. Learning children do not learn everything because of the teacher or something like that. I don't recall that. I thought you would bring in Prabhu when he said teaching is hoping for the best. That's a brilliant article, which I think he wrote while he was in Singapore, and that's a brilliant thing. So I saw a lot of connection between the two, and I now look forward to your suggestions on alternatives to education. I think that's a brilliant thing that you have done. I like the way you have developed it so very systematically. Online is not the solution, and you cannot do without online. This is a catch-22 situation we are in. I think that's where we are. But catch-22 situations are good. They at least allow you to think, if not anything. They don't block your way. Thank you, Ravi. Thank you for that brilliant talk. And thank you, Anil, for asking me to comment.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Mohan Raj, sir. I request Professor Dr. Rajendra C. Jadeja, former director of HMPIETR Institute of English Training and Research, to share his ideas. Dr. Jadeja, please, sir.
Sir, you have to unmute, sir. Dr. Jadeja, sir, you have to.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Good morning, everybody. Morning, Dr. Ravi. And
good morning, sir. Good morning.
Yes, I would like to start by paying a tribute to Dr. H.M. Patel, whose birth anniversary we are celebrating by organizing this occasion. I'm sure all of us know that he was an ardent admirer of Dr. Triguna Sen, who in fact laid the foundation stone of H.M. Patel Institute of English, who came to Vallabh Vidyanagar, Dr. Triguna Sen, and immediately after coming here in the parliament session, he presented the 3-language formula. So I would like to point out to Dr. Ravi Narayan and all the friends here that in India what is really important is that we keep in mind the bilingual and multilingual perspective. And while I think it is important to focus on the pandemic right now, we must remember that pandemic is a passing phenomenon, and that it is not going to be with us forever. But as soon as we are free from the pandemic, I think the new national education policy should come into force, and we should all try to understand what is the national consensus. One of the things which happens there is, of course, greater emphasis on the child's mother tongue. And it says very specifically that even in schools where the medium of instruction is not the child's mother tongue, it would be advisable to encourage the use of mother tongue to a definite extent, to the extent that it is necessary or helpful. So that is one policy recommendation which I think we will have to pay attention to, and which we will have to try to understand better in the days to come. So I would like to know if Dr. Ravi Narayan has specific views on this. Please tell us.
Sir, you're talking about bilingual, multilingual education? My views on that, yeah.
I'm talking about the recommendation in the new national education policy, where it is very specifically recommended that in schools where the mother tongue is not the medium of instruction, where some other language is the medium of instruction, the teachers would do well to also use the mother tongue to some extent and facilitate learning. I think it is done in line with UNESCO recommendation, and I think in India we need to understand the implications.
Yeah, you're right, sir. You're right, sir. Yes. Yeah. And we are introducing bilingual medium of education from this academic year. In fact, wherever we have English as a medium of instruction in public schools, the government is planning to introduce bilingual medium in English medium schools, where the subjects will be taught in both the languages. Maybe we have to work out the mechanisms, arrive at a model. As it's happening in some countries, for example, the teacher will start teaching core subjects in the first language for first 15 minutes. Next 15 minutes, the same concept will be taught in English. And then again switching back to mother tongue. Then continuing in English. That's one model we have. And another model is first day, the core subjects are taught in L1. And the second day, the same topic is taught in L2. So that's a kind of bilingual model we have. So we have to think of such models and make schools bilingual. I think that's my opinion, sir. Wherever medium of instruction is not students' mother tongue or the dominant language. Yeah.
Thank you indeed.
Thank you, Jadeja sir and Ravi. Now it's time to seek blessings from the head of the family of Charutar Vidya Mandal. I request Honorable Chairman, Engineer Shri Bhikubai Sahib for the blessing and presidential remarks. Shri Bhikubai Patel Sahib.
The chief guest, my colleagues from CBM, principal, invited guests, staff members and students. After the foundation of Charutar Vidya Mandal by Sri Bhai Kaka and Sri Bhikubai Sahib, Dr. HMPIETR Sahib literate. He was a voracious reader and a visionary having excellent managing skills. This institute came into existence due to his powerful vision. Today is his birthday. I am really happy that HMPIETR Institute of English celebrates his birthday by inviting renowned experts from delivering memorial lecture every year. On behalf of Charutar Vidya Mandal and on my personal behalf, I pay tribute to Dr. HMPIETR Sahib. I am thankful to Dr. Ravi Narayan of RIE for his thought provoking and memorial lecture. And I congratulate Dr. Bose and his team for successful organization of today's function. My best wishes are always with the Institute. Thank you, Jai Sardar, Jai Vidyan.
I think this is a good illustration of the kind of challenges we are facing in distance and digital education. Very well illustrated.
Yeah. Yes.
The chief guest, my colleagues from CBN.
I think Patel ji is on board, but audio is not there. So maybe sir has to unmute.
By Sri Bhaikaka and Sri Bikabi Sahib, Dr. H.M. Patel Sahib literally. He was a voracious reader and visionary having excellent managing skills. This institute came into existence due to his powerful vision. Today is his birthday. I am really happy that HM Patel Institute of English celebrate his birthday by inviting renowned experts from delivering memorial lecture every year. On behalf of Charutar Vidya Mandal and on my personal behalf, I pay tribute to Dr. H.M. Patel Sahib. I am thankful of RIE for his thought-provoking and memorial lecture. The chief guest, my colleagues from CBN, principal, invited guests, staff members and students. After the foundation of Charutar Vidya Mandal by Sri Bhaikaka and Sri Bikabi Sahib, Dr. H.M. Patel Sahib literally. He was a voracious reader and visionary having excellent managing skills. This institute came into existence due to his powerful vision. Today is his birthday. I am really happy that HM Patel Institute of English celebrate his birthday by inviting renowned experts from delivering memorial lecture every year. On behalf of Charutar Vidya Mandal and on my personal behalf, I pay tribute to Dr. H.M. Patel Sahib. I am thankful to Dr. Ravi Narayan of RIE for his thought-provoking and memorial lecture. And I congratulate Dr. Bose and his team for successful organization of today's function. My best wishes are always with the Institute. Thank you, Jai Sardar, Jai Vidyan.
Thank you, sir, for kind blessings and presidential remarks. Now we are moving towards the end of the program. Yes, friends. Now we are moving towards the end of the program. I request Dr. Mayur Parmar, Vice President of the Institute, for the word of thanks. Dr. Mayur.
Hello, I hope I am audible. Honorable Engineer Bhikhubhai Patel Sahib, the Chairman of Charutar Vidya Mandal and President of today's function, Honorable Dr. Ravi Narayan Sir, Chief Guest of today's function, the Secretary Sir, Joint Secretaries and all the torch bearers of Charutar Vidya Mandal, all the dignitaries who have joined online, available now. I wish everybody once again a very good morning. As the Vice President of the Central Committee of HM Patel Institute, I really feel honored and rather privileged to propose the vote of thanks on this auspicious occasion. I begin with a special thanks to the chief guest of today's function, Dr. Ravi Narayan Sir from RIE Bangalore, who accepted our invitation and made it convenient to deliver the HM Patel Memorial Lecture at a very short notice. Sir, we are indeed very much grateful to you for your thought-provoking ideas and also for the illuminating memorial lecture. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Thank you, Dr. Mayur.
It is a matter of pride and privilege to have Engineer Bhikhubhai Patel Sahib, Chairman, Chautar Vidya Mandal, as the president of today's online memorial lecture. I thank him for sparing his precious time out of his busy schedule and part of this function. Engineer Bhikhubhai Patel Sahib has always been a guiding lamp to this institute. He has been kind and generous enough in providing exceptional guidance and support to all of us in all the possible ways. Sir, on behalf of HM Patel family, I take this opportunity to express a deep sense of gratitude to you for having graced this occasion with your esteemed presence. Thank you very much, sir. I would like to extend my warm greetings of gratitude towards Dr. S.G. Patel, sir, Honorary Secretary, Chautar Vidya Mandal, and Principal R.C. Talati, sir, the mentor of this institute, for this precious present and continuous constant support. My special thanks to Padma Bhushan Dr. Amrita Patel, Madam, the learned daughter of Sri H.M. Patel Sahib, for being with us today. Madam is keenly involved as a member of Board of Studies and she guides the institute to make qualitative progress. Thanks a lot, Madam, once again. I thank Talati, sir, all the joint secretaries of Chautar Vidya Mandal, esteemed invitees, distinguished guests, principals and heads of institutions of various departments of various institutions for registering their invaluable presence. I also take this opportunity to thank our principal, Dr. N.V. Bose, sir, for his extensive support, motivation, and guidance. Thank you, Bose, sir. My special thanks to Professor Mohan Raj, sir, and Dr. R.P. Jadeja, sir, for their enlightening comments, ideas. Thank you, sir, for sharing. Let me also thank Dr. Anil Varsad, the IQSC coordinator, for his prompt leadership and support. Thank you, Anil. How can I forget all the members of the Students' Council, the faculty, and the administrative technical staff of HM Patel family? They have supported us like anything. Thank you very much. I specially thank Vishal Kanjaria, sir, for his technical support. I might have missed anybody's name, so kindly I apologize if I have done so. Once again, directly, indirectly, whosoever has been involved in making this program a success, I thank you, everyone, each and every individual. Thank you very much. Over to Anil.
Thank you, Mayur. Officially, here ends the program. If there is any point to discuss, we can discuss if we have a time. Bose, sir.
Thank you very much, Ravi, for accepting and delivering this thought-provoking speech. I'm thankful to Dr. Mohanraj and Jadeja sir to be with us for the whole program. Thank you, everybody, and thank you.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Goodbye to you. Have a nice day. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, Ravi. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye. Bye.